In this video, guys, I want to talk about something different, making your first 100k in the markets. Stick around. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. All right, so I know some of you are watching are like, well, making 100k and well at level as well. But this is kind of for traders who are there and you've got a reasonably small account, whatever that is. Let's say a $10,000 account, maybe 2,000, 50, whatever it is, not 100k anyway. And it feels like getting to that 100k is quite a big ask. You're like, even when I crunch the numbers, that's going to take me some time unless I do something different. And this is really the decision you've got to make. And this comes from, you and I are friends now, and I share this as I take it the right manner. If you've got a smaller account, that's absolutely fine, but you've got to make this decision. And this is the decision that I've been frank about this before. I did a big kind of call with the guys in Traders Mastermind about this. At some point, you have to make a decision to take a leap. You have to make a decision to go, you know what, I can't stay at this level, even though profitability wise and percentage wise I'm doing well. I need to push, I need to move forward. And so you might have an account and you're saying, yes, you know what, maybe you're doubling it every year, which is damn good. You're not saying, listen, I'm doubling it every year, I'm doubling it every year. But maybe you're drawing that bit, maybe you're looking at it and going, well, it's still going to take me a fair while to get up to a decent level. And I feel like I'm not taking advantage of my skill set enough. And maybe you're not risking that much per trade because you don't want to blow up. So anyway, you've got to make a decision. You go, okay, do I want to grow this capital? Let's say you got 5 grand, 7 grand, 10 grand. Do I want to grow it and learn the craft and enjoy trading and see if I can grow this and grow this and grow this and grow this, and maybe I'll get it into something decent or something, a big return, should I say? Nothing to say 10 grand isn't decent, later on. But the risk is dialed down accordingly. You're risking a smaller amount per trade. When you have a drawdown, maybe you're losing, 10% of the 20%, something like that. It's not a brutal drawdown, but you're less likely to turn that into 100k within a couple of years because just of the nature of the beast, by the risk you're taking. So it's a risk reward deal, as is all with trading. The other side of the coin is you say, right, let's use a 10k analogy. I've got 10 grand. You've proven yourself you've got a strategy. So all we've got to prove yourself you've got a strategy first. Let's say you've made it, turned it into 20. And let's say maybe, you're doing pretty well on that. You say, but I'm doing okay. I've turned it into 20. I've not taken extreme risk, but I want to get that up quickly. I'm prepared to risk a large amount of that to try and swing for the fences to see if I can just get to the 6 figures or the $250,000 just to get a cushion. And that's a decision you may well have to make. And guys, maybe others aren't talking about this, I don't know, but this is the frank discussion about where you are in your trading. Now, again, we're assuming you've got a strategy, we're assuming you've shown some profitability with a certain risk tolerance, and you've done the maths and you've gone, that's going to take me a while to get to a meaningful number, what do I do? This is your decision to say, okay, and by the way, massive risk here, guys. Big disclaimer, not recommending either of these things. You need to do your own homework. You need to understand that trading's risky, etc., etc. No promises, none of this, hypothetical, whatever the thing is that people have to use. You get the point. It's super risky. I'm not saying you should do this, but I'm just explaining the decision that you may well have. You may well say, okay, well, actually, to get to that first milestone, whether that's the 100 or the 250, whatever it is for you, I'm going to have to take some risk. Okay, so let's say you've got your 10 and you've turned it into 20 with good trading, not just lucky trading, good trading. You think, if that continues and I risk more, I could get to the 6 figures, could get to the level I want. And so at that point, you have to decide whether you're prepared to give back, say, 15 grand of the 20 to try and swing for the 100 or for the 250 if in the right environment. And that's a commercial decision that only you can make. Now, it's absolutely fine to say, you know what, no, I'm going to go 20, I want to see if I can get to the 25, the 30, 35, 40. And if I keep going, keep doing this, great. I might have turned my 10 into 50 grand over a relatively short period of time compared to sticking at any other investment, and I've enjoyed the process. absolutely fine. Good on you. That you're already in the top tier of traders if you can just do that with a small amount of money. But other people are like, okay, well, the reason I'm doing this is so that I can, you know, make some decent money out of what I've got. That's the point. And so once you've put in the foundations and you've got something there, you then go, right, this is when you sit down and you say to yourself, okay, so if I took those previous trades that I did, how much would I have had to risk per trade to get to my 6 figures? And look at that number. And at first you're like, that's a lot per trade. But you go, okay, if I can pull it off, that puts me in a pretty positive position because the market conditions are obviously aligned with your trading. You're in the right frame of mind for the trading, the executing, everything seems to be lining up. It might not always be the case and it could stop immediately, but it's a better time than when you've had poor performance. It's saying, okay, well, let me push the throttle down a bit. Let me try, let me risk a little bit more. Now, that comes with added emotion and attachment to the trade and understanding that, hey, you were risking 100 per trade, $100, £100 per trade. Now you might be risking 700, and that might be too big a step, and you might ruin your performance. And that's something to be aware of and step back and go, okay, not yet. But for some of you might be like, okay, I can do it with that risk. I can do it with this risk. I understand the consequences that I could get it wrong, and I could undo a lot of good work with my trading. I could go from 20K back to 5K, but I'm doing it because I'm trying. I've got everything's lined up for me. I'm going to push hard. I'm going to swing a little bit harder. I'm going to risk a little bit more. I feel like I've got control of this. I feel like I'm aware of what I'm doing. I'm a big boy. I understand the consequences, but I'm looking at the upside, and that's what I'm trying to hit. I'm not content with just putting another 5 on the board, another 10 on the board. And maybe you are for another couple of years. Maybe that's fine. Okay, well, I'll do that when I get to a little bit more. I'll put a couple of years on the board. That's fine too. There's no right or wrong for any of this or perfect timing. But the point is, and there's a bit of a loose title, but the point is when you've got a smaller account, to make the leap, sometimes it's the right thing for you to do to take a lot more risk, to swing a little bit harder, especially if you're not going to miss the money, especially if you're prepared to lose it and you're absolutely fine with that. You say, yeah, you know what, I'll be back to where I was or half of where I was, and I'm okay with that because I've got a good chance here of getting some good numbers on the board and be able to sit back at the end of the year and going, all right, that was tough. I took some risks and I got away with it, you know, and now I can perhaps calm myself down a bit, settle down, see what's going on, see what my risk is going to be, and move from there. And sometimes that's the right decision to make. That is absolutely the right decision to make, and sometimes it's not. But you know, but the point of this is, the video is, guys, it's not always a case of that linear, make this, make this, make this, make this, and just keep chugging up. At some point, you might say, you know what, yeah, now's the time to push a throttle down. Now is the time to do it. And you know, one of the main things we talk about a lot is, you know, pushing the throttle down when things are right, scaling things up, but on the right conditions. The right conditions. You know, there's no point in doing it if you're feeling like, if it's a Hail Mary play, like I've lost some money, I'm just going to swing hard and swing for the fence, and I'm going to get back to highs. I'm going to make 100 grand, and everything's going to be okay, because you'll lose it again. You'll absolutely lose it. You have to have the foundation first, the confidence, all the other stuff that we build in you there first before you do that. But it's an option rather than that linear growth. It's an option at some point to say, I'm prepared to take more risk. I understand the consequences of doing it. I know what I'm going to do. Let me formulate a later plan and let me go for it. 2 options. Neither one is right or wrong. Just wanted to highlight that. And we're talking about the case of going from, say, 10K to 100K. Bit of a different video, guys. Thought I'd talk about put some good numbers on the board as well. You've gone from relatively small accounts to relatively high accounts, and that's probably with taking risks. So you guys have got some something to add to the conversation in that aspect. Some of the others are, you know, trading small accounts and just getting that traction, that foundation. And this is a step to think about later, not yet. Foundation, get the numbers on the board, prove you can do it, prove you can weather the storm, prove you can pull back from a drawdown, all the other stuff first. But I just wanted to kind of talk about it because it's not that linear growth all the time. Sometimes you can make the decision and you take it on the chin when it doesn't work, and maybe you have to put another year in to get back up to where you were and you try again. But maybe it's not for you. Anyway, see you next one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.